In 2019, the world watched a billion-dollar dream fall apart right in front of them. WeWork, once valued at $47 billion, went from being the next big thing to almost nothing in just a few weeks. At the center of it all was Adam Neumann, a confident, charming Israeli entrepreneur who made everyone believe he was changing the future of work. But behind the shiny image and big promises was a story far crazier than anyone expected. Get ready to know the story of Adam Neumann, how he rose to fame and turned into one of the biggest downfalls in startup history. The rise before the fall. WeWork started like a dream that made total sense at the time. Back in 2010, Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey looked around after the 2008 financial crash and noticed something strange: empty office buildings everywhere, and at the same time, a new wave of freelancers and startup founders who had nowhere to go. Traditional leases were too expensive, too long, too rigid. So they thought, what if office space worked more like a gym membership? You pay monthly, get access, and walk away whenever you want. That's how WeWork was born, and at first, it really did feel like the future. The idea exploded. People loved the freedom, the community, the design, and the vibe. By 2011, they launched something called WeWork Labs, a program that wasn't just about giving startups a desk. It gave them a network, mentorship, and a sense of belonging. Suddenly, working at WeWork made you feel like part of a movement. It wasn't just an office, it was a lifestyle. Before long, WeWork wasn't just in New York anymore. They were in London, San Francisco, Tokyo, everywhere. 600 buildings worldwide. Over 600,000 members. The company was expanding like wildfire. Every freelancer wanted a desk there. Every entrepreneur wanted that energy. But underneath that glowing success, the foundation was already cracked. Stay with me, hit the subscribe button, and press the bell icon, because this is where it starts to get messy. WeWork's business model looked simple. They'd sign long-term leases, 10, 15 years, with landlords for premium buildings. They'd redesign them with trendy open spaces, neon signs, and free beer on tap. Then they'd rent them out to members on short month-to-month deals. Everything was going smoothly. The man who turned it into a cult. Now, let's talk about Adam Neumann. Adam wasn't your standard CEO. He had served in the Israeli Navy, walked around barefoot in meetings, talked about world peace, and somehow made it sound like business strategy. He had this crazy charisma. He could talk about chairs and desks and somehow make it sound like a revolution. People compared him to Steve Jobs. Investors adored him. Every time he spoke, you'd think you were watching a spiritual leader rather than a real estate CEO. And because of that, the money poured in. Billions of dollars from venture capitalists, all convinced WeWork was the next Apple. But behind all that charm, things were chaotic. Adam reportedly smoked weed constantly. He bought a $60 million private jet with company money and allegedly flew with bags of marijuana across international borders. In work meetings, he'd hand out trays of tequila shots. The annual company retreats, called summer camp, looked more like Coachella than a business event. Thousands of employees camping out, concerts, booze, chaos. Sounds fun? Maybe. But it turned dark. WeWork hit a peak valuation of $47 billion. That made it worth more than Spotify or Twitter. Adam was a billionaire on paper. He gave speeches at universities. He was on magazine covers. He was untouchable. But the higher you climb, the harder you fall, right? The show that exposed it all. Fast forward to 2022. Apple TV Plus released WeCrashed, with Jared Leto playing Adam and Anne Hathaway as his wife, Rebecca. It's based on the Wondery podcast of the same name, but of course, it's dramatized. The show paints Adam and Rebecca like this intense, visionary couple whose love fueled the company. And yeah, that part's true. Rebecca did play a big role. She was obsessed with spirituality and wellness, and she pushed Adam toward some of his most bizarre ideas, like WeGrow, their attempt at an education startup. But here's the thing. The show makes them a bit too likable. It gives them this romantic, tragic hero glow. Reality wasn't so poetic. The real Adam wasn't just eccentric. He was reckless. The real WeWork wasn't just a dream gone wrong. It was a financial mess waiting to explode. Still, the show captures the chaos leading up to that infamous IPO attempt. It's entertaining, yeah, but it leaves out a lot, especially the part where big banks and investors practically enabled everything. The moment it all came crashing down. When that IPO filing dropped, everything unraveled in weeks. The media tore the company apart. Investors panicked. Employees panicked. Everyone realized the emperor had no clothes. On September 24, 2019, Adam finally stepped down as CEO. He didn't get fired in shame. He walked away with a $1.7 billion payout. Imagine that. You crash a $47 billion company, and they hand you almost $2 billion just to leave quietly. Unreal. WeWork laid off 2,400 employees that November. People who believed in the dream, who worked their hearts out, were suddenly out of jobs. But Adam? He was set for life. SoftBank took over, tried to fix things, and brought in new leadership. They cut costs, closed offices, and did everything they could. But the company was already bleeding out. By November 2023, WeWork officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The same company, once valued at $47 billion, was now worth barely $45 million. That's a 99.9% collapse. If you'd invested $1 at the peak, it would now be worth less than a penny. That's not failure, that's free fall. So, what do you think? Was Adam Neumann a genius who just flew too close to the sun, or a smooth talker who fooled everyone with a dream that never really existed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.